Christmas has transcended its origins as a Christian festival to become a celebration for people from all communities, cultures and religions in the UK. For a few days, almost everyone in Britain stops what they're doing and marks the occasion somehow, whether it's just a family gathering, a meal together, or the smallest exchange of gifts. Whilst a great many people living in the UK might not recognise Christmas as time for marking and celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, most recognise and embrace Christmas as an exercise in cultural bonding, one of the very few things that brings the whole nation together. And it's perhaps the only example left of deference and respect to the traditions and heritage of this country. That's why it was especially nauseating to learn that on Boxing Day of all days, another pro-Hamas protest was inflicted on London. As Boxing Day shoppers arrived at East London's Westfield shopping centre, they will have found a number of shops closed as a safety and security measure, having been targeted by these protesters, with security guards stationed outside them. Shoppers will have witnessed police escorting protesters off the premises and setting up a security cordon at the entrance to the shopping centre. What are we supposed to make of this? Is it another example of cultural enrichment? More proof, if proof be needed, that diversity is our strength? This disturbance on a sacrosanct occasion for British people is abusive behaviour, isn't it? It's an attack on our way of life. It's a message from people who live amongst us and yet are far from being part of our communities, that they resent this country and that they hold the British people, their culture and traditions in utter contempt. Many of these protesters were born here, but raised perhaps by parents who weren't, parents who've passed down to their children a refusal to integrate and a strange hatred for this country that they chose as their home, a country whose people are forced to overlook a multitude of sins. Because these protesters, thugs, warmongers, anti-Semites, pariahs, enjoy protected status, don't they? To criticise them is to be accused of racism. And so we have to put up with any amount of vile behaviour, any amount of total disrespect for this country which has embraced them, given them endless opportunity, and the sort of civil society that doesn't exist where they or their parents originally came from. At what point are we allowed to meet these people on equal terms, to punish their behaviour as it would be punished if they were white British people, rather than perpetual victims using the crimes of the past to play the victim in the present? It's time for our police to clamp down on these so-called protests, but they won't, of course, under the thumb of woke progressivism as they are, ideologically captured like every other major public institution in this country. Please do like and subscribe and support me on Patreon for exclusive content. Thanks for watching.